Hey guys, Awesome Negations back again with another review, this time of a short film that's released by online, and also you can buy a DVD-R of it online as well. This is a movie that I was curious about. I saw the trailer for it. It looked interesting. It's called Hotel Inferno. It was released in December of 2013 on this website called Necrostorm, and it's about 80 minutes long, and it's directed by Giulio de Santi and stars Rayner, Bourton, Jessica Carroll, Michael Howe, Mauro Migliorini, and Bonni Mino, and a few other actors and actresses. It is a low budget flick, very low budget. I don't even know exactly. Even the budget is available on IMDb how much it cost to make. I don't even have any idea how much it was. Um, the one review on IMDb I think is not fair on the film. Some guys say I would have rather done the research paper that I didn't do, and instead of watching this movie, and I'm like, it's not that bad, but I would say it's not that it's not a great movie either. But I think there's a lot of ambition here. There's a lot of good things about this movie, but you have to get through some really shitty prologue to get to it. Anyway, this is about 80 minutes long, and the whole premise it's selling is it's sort of like this new sort. It's a POV. It's like a POV first person type movie, entirely shot in first person, and it deals with this guy trying to fight his way through a hotel full of zombies or zombie-like creatures. And there's a lot of gore and a lot of guts and a lot of blood, and even the filmmakers thanked Peter Jackson in at the end credits because it did feel like a lot of the gore reminded me totally of Peter Jackson's earlier works. But basically, the main issue I think this movie has is not because it's low budget. I mean, I think they do a lot with the budget that they have. I think the main issue is, and that's my friend saying he's sorry, I didn't know you were reviewing right now, which is fine. I just started reviewing, so you're good. You're cool. Just don't type anymore. Just anyway. So it's I was saying it's a low budget, but they do a lot with a low budget. The effects I think look really good and prove that you can do low budget. You can do practical effects. You can do practical gore Hollywood. You don't have to do CGI blood. You don't have to do CGI effects. You can do practical because this movie was made for probably fucking pennies, and they were able to do it and and use it effectively. Where the problem lies with this movie is, for one, the ending. I think it's half-assed and it just is a letdown. And two, the acting. The acting is really god awful. It's like the worst possible. It's like the worst of B movies have to offer. You have this guy, the main guy sucks, can't act worth shit. Eventually, I kind of enjoyed his performance because it was so bad. But right off the bat, you're like, oh god, here we go. Rayner Bourton. And right off the bat, he just sounds like a horribly bad video game voiceover where, this guy with a heavy, thick accent trying to be Jason Statham and failing miserably. Um, this guy's talking to him, telling him his plan, put on these special goggles. The script was so bad that they said, oh, that's all the information. And the main bad guy, he sounds like the Crypt Keeper. So it sounded like the Crypt Keeper to me. At first, I thought he sounded like Mark Hamill's Joker, and he does a little bit sound like Mark Hamill's Joker from Batman the Animated Series. And then I was like, he sounds like the Crypt Keeper. That's it, So the Crypt Keeper's giving this guy orders. It was like, on the left hand of your screen, there is a. There's like, there it's like there, but there's like, it's on the right. There's nothing on the left. It says on the left hand of the screen, there are information that you need to follow. And it's like, this is the right hand. What the hell? Don't even know what you're talking about. And then the main guy, he opens his mouth, and the first scene you see, he's talking to his girlfriend on a phone, and she's horrible too. He's like, uh, hi, hi, honey. He's like, that's better. Hi, honey. This is really awful. I want to be able to make it today. Uh, you know, I have a job to do. I'm doing better job. I can't do it. I can't be as awful as this guy was. His voiceover, his acting was horrible. And throughout the rest of the movie, it seemed like he didn't have any other dialogue other than the word fuck or fuck you. Just the word fuck you was all his dialogue. Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck! You fuck! You fucking sucker! Fuck you! Fuck you! This is a constant. That's all he ever says. It's like, fuck you. And then he had the Crypt Keeper giving him orders, docking shit to him, you know. How could you possibly understand? You are a moron. You're stupid. This is really bad dialogue that really hurt the film. But when the movie decides to stop talking and acting like a dumbass, it actually is really cool and really worth watching. Because the moments where you have the point of view stuff that's going on, and the monsters come into play, and the zombies start attacking this guy, are really thrilling. And some of the most thrilling exciting stuff I've seen in a horror film in years. I mean, it really is worth watching just for these point of view, first person type attack scenes. It really is exciting. It puts you right in the action. It's very imaginative. It really does feel like I'm playing a video game or I'm watching a video game. It's just the acting sucks. I really think that this movie could be a lot better if it just had better actors. It's not a terrible movie. I think at the end of the day, it's just okay. It's decent. It's a movie I wouldn't mind picking up, but not for over $20. I'll wait for a little bit, you know. And I also think another thing that's really good about the movie is the soundtrack. I think the soundtrack is excellent. The soundtrack, I think, helps a lot with the tone of the film. It sets the pace. It's a great soundtrack. Just by itself, the soundtrack is good. It seems like it's a really nice, heartfelt homage to the best of Carpenter and even other type of genres. Like I was trying to remember the other one. It reminded me of John Carpenter a little bit in certain parts, like one of John Carpenter and Alan Howarth's scores, and then a little bit of some more contemporary type horror scores too. It was Goblin a little bit like Goblin at some points from Dario Argento's flicks. So a little bit of Dario Argento-ish sort of music at points in the film as well. Really excellent score. I love to just own the score by itself. And the practical effects were really well done. There's some really great gore in this movie. There's some scenes I really enjoyed. I really were some crowd pleasing moments. The zombies try to attack him in the forest, and he grabs a shotgun and he starts just unloading it on these zombies, blowing up their heads and stuff. There's a lot of scenes in the film where he's using everything that he has to try to survive, including like bashing some guy's head in with what is it, like he electrocutes some dude with the light with the bashes some. There's a lot of a lot of brains, a lot of head smashing in this movie. You do like head smashing scenes. There's a lot of them in this. There's a decapitation scene where he ties this zombie with a rope or something, like a garrote wire or something, or a chain, and he ties him to a tree. And he's so dumb that he tries to go after him still while he's tied to a tree. So the chain ends up cutting off his head, and he still goes after him. And it's like you see the decapitation and everything. And once the movie got going, once it got past the talky bullshit, which went nowhere, this whole thing with the new specialized goggles, Mission Impossible eyewear, went absolutely nowhere in the film, except make me laugh with how awful it was and how the whole setup was. And all it was there is to show that the audience some backstory, that the reason why this guy, the supposed hero of the film, Frank Zimosa, who actually is a hitman, and his whole idea was this guy was setting him up and saying that there are these people who are murderers, and you need to stop them, and they're at this hotel, and this is already an example of what they've done. Like even the beginning of the movie, they have a scene where you just see a clip of this guy cutting this guy's head off in a bathtub, and it's pretty gory and graphic. And right at the back, you're like, whoa, that's fucked up, okay, and it's a good practical effect, all right. I'll say this movie has balls. I mean, balls of steel compared to any horror film I've seen in the past 2 years, not named Tucker and Dale or But even that didn't have as much ball. This movie is a lot of balls. It's very bloody, very violent, very gory. And if you're a fan of splatter films, I highly recommend you checking this out at least once. And so, but you get past this stuff, you have the whole stupid shit with the eyeglasses. All it is to show the audience and, a little bit of backstory, why the guy is going to the hotel and what he's doing there. And then after that, it goes nowhere because he ends up breaking the glasses, sees some guy in a bathtub who's like barfing, puking blood. He's like, and he tells him some story. They think it's a bunch of bullshit. Then he realizes that the lead guy realizes his hand is messed up. Maybe you get the idea that maybe he's starting to become one of these things. He's the stuff that he hears from this guy is like, she feeds on us, she feeds on things. You can't feed her or whatever. Something like, who the hell is this her? What the fuck? And then, you have a great scene of the lead guy puking at a POV. I didn't need to see a POV of some guy hurling. I don't need to see that. Chew it back, man. Chew it back. I don't need to see that. Chew it back, Garf. Come on. I don't need to see that. He looked like he was puking up like cat food or salmon or some shit. It was not, I didn't need to see that at all. And then there's a scene where he went up against a zombie guy and he ends up fucking him up. And the zombie actually ends up stabbing him in the fucking hand. So he's got this thing stuck in his hand. And you have it really, I thought it was some good gore. He pulls out the knife and you're like, man, it's messed up. He's got right through, the knife went right through his hand. And he's like, wraps it with bandages, but then later goes into a room and he tries to rinse it off and it looks really fucked up. I think he takes a whole bottle of rubbing alcohol, pours it on it, and that was like a hard scene for me to watch because pour the whole bottle of rubbing alcohol in his hand that's got a fucking deep hole in it. He's like, ah! And I'm like, ow! There's a lot of moments in that where I'm like, ooh, damn, that looks like that hurt. And some good bits of atmosphere, too. There's a scene where he goes into this room, which is like a cave, where the Crypt Keeper guy is telling him, like, you idiot! This is where they live! Yeah, no, this is where my men live! You've just walked into a trap! and of course he has this, like, fuck you! Fuck you! The whole thing. You stupid fuck! This is one of his dialogue. I don't think the guy can survive without saying that for one time in this movie. And so it's like, if I get out of here alive, I'm gonna fucking kill you. You fucking wanker. That's really not what he said, but there's some decent lines of dialogue, like, if I get out of here, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna kill you. You hear me? I'm gonna. And so then basically, I like the atmosphere in the scene. It goes into this place where they live, and it's really lit well. It's creepy. It's atmospheric. It's like some kind of greenish hue looking cave. And then he has like a flashlight, and the flashlight that he has is 3 lights that are like one, like kind of shaped kind of like a pyramid almost. So you have one on the top, another one on the left and the right. And it adds a kind of really interesting sort of look. The guy's using a flashlight with 3 different lights. He gets in a little bit of a fight with one other zombie guy in there. He finds his way out of there. When the guy said, there's no way you can escape, it's like, I found an exit, you fucking moron, you fuck. And, like I said, I don't remember a lot of the dialogue because there's not really a lot of memorable dialogue, just a lot of, fuck you, fuck, you fucking son of a bitch. Anyway, you hear me? I will kill you, you motherfucker. Anyway, so that's just that bad. Trying to be Jason Statham throughout the whole movie and just not working. And it's a call to it. His girlfriend's not much better. She's like, oh, why did you call me? Oh, what? I can't even do her justice either. She's awful. Anyway, what it leads to is eventually the sort of twist in the plot is that the guy who hired him is actually this guy who's a collector. He collects all these monsters and stuff. They're handed out from generations of like monsters and demons and creatures and so forth. And the she that they're talking about is this this beast, this monster, a she beast, was handed down to him from his family, and been part of his family for generations. And this is called, I think it's called Gamora. No, it's not. I think it's called Gamora. It could be completely wrong. Um, yeah, it's played called Gamora. And Gamora, I thought the effect was pretty good. This is like this walking around, this big, giant, tall, doesn't even look female, really. You just call it she. It doesn't look anything like a woman or any sort, but any side. Nothing, just looks like a kind of a fucked up skeleton creature thing. And it's got kind of reminded me of something like the skeleton monster head at the end of Evil Dead, and then also a little bit of the beast creature. The skeleton creature kind of reminded me a lot. The face reminded me, like, remember Poltergeist when Ray T. Nelson opens the door and he's trying to pull his wife in, trying to pull Diane in a little bit too soon, and then this giant, skull head comes popping out and screams at him. Kind of looks a lot like that, but like imagine more flesh and stuff on top of it. Kind of like think about it in The Fly 2 when he had that poor guy who got, the fly spit on him and it ripped his face off and like, I got burnt off. Imagine that. Just like a skull, but with like, some flesh and stuff on it. That's pretty much what the creature looked a lot like to me. With I think some like messed up dark red eyes or something. And it breathes fire. And so it's walking around, he's talking to they tied up the old guy. He's like, "You stupid fool! You've awakened her! Now she's hungry and she's angry. I've had her for generations. I don't want to lose her. Yeah, and she's going to feed off your suffering." Because that's kind of the sort of thing that this creature does. It feeds off of people's suffering, I guess. And, but I like the idea that the main bad guy, the Jorge Mastrandia guy, is pretty much a collector. I think that's an interesting idea that there's these rich fucks who collect monsters. I think that would be interesting. It sets it up pretty good for sequels. You know, this is only one of many, places like, oh, I found your girlfriend, and oh, good thing she's right next door to one of my other safe houses. I didn't really, I didn't mind that idea. And but it's the execution. The ending was lame. He goes faces off against the creature, thinks he has the upper hand, shoots it. He fucks it up, thinks he killed it, but no, it comes back to life, and it's a hopeless situation because he ends up getting captured again. He escaped before, but ultimately he ends up getting captured again, chained to this thing. And he gets his hands fucked up even more than they already are. Some guy takes a sledgehammer, a mini sledgehammer, and just busts them in two. That's a hard scene to watch too. And he's like, I don't care. I will kill you, Mastrandia. I don't care what I have to do. I will fucking kill you, you son of a bitch. I will kill you, Mastrandia. Fuck you, Mastrandia. You sick fuck. I will kill you. That's pretty much. That's the dialogue. The wonderful dialogue this movie has. And so ultimately the movie ends though. Like I said, it's a letdown. He gets captured, gets his hands fucked up, says one last goodbye to his girlfriend on his phone. She doesn't understand. And then the Gamora creature, its head, flies towards the screen, and then end credits. So you're like, is this a sequel? Bait ending? Is he dead or is he going to die? I assumed he was going to die. He's dead. The monster got him, but they didn't really show it. I really think they should have ended better. This guy's an asshole. He's a hitman, but doesn't mean I want him to die. This other guy's even more of an asshole. This other guy deserved to die. I would have liked to seen that ending where he fucks up the Gamora creature, maybe fucking decapitates his ass with a chainsaw, or saws it in half or something, and a like nice little homage to Deep Space, Fred Olen Ray's Deep Space, and then goes off and finds out where this Mastrandia guy is and fucking kills him, and that would be better. And then it sets up a sequel where he goes off and looks for the other places where he's keeping these creatures and monsters and goes off to kill them. I would have liked that idea better than the ending, better than the ending they have here. It just seems like they ran out of money and just gave up. It's not as bad as Biohazard, where it's just a blooper reel, but it's still a letdown. But other than that, there's actually a lot of things good going for this movie. Great soundtrack, good gore, good practical effects for a low budget. The POV scenes were actually genuinely really thrilling and exciting and cool and really fun to watch. The point of view scenes in this movie, I think, was a really good idea. The whole, I almost thought at one point in the movie maybe it would have been better if it wasn't that way, but more and more I think about, no, I'm really glad that it was like that. It really made made the film feel different and fresh and innovative. Was this POV type of idea, this first person splatter movie? I like that idea. It was the first time they ever done that. And I'd love to see more of this, but just with better acting. Because the lead guys sucked. All they could say is the word fuck competently. Everything else he was horrible at. You know, where do you want me to be? I can't do it as bad. The whole stuff where he's all like talking to his girlfriend was when you started out in the beginning. Jenny, you have to understand. I have a job to do. Jenny. I don't know. I don't know. I was trying to channel my Fire Marshal Bill there. I don't know. Fire Marshal Bill trying to let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. But anyway, it's not much. I mean, it's not a very long review because it's an 80-minute long movie. A majority of it is the point of it's for splatter. It's a movie you're gonna watch for gore and for splatter, and it delivers that in spades. There's a good amount, a really good high quotient of gore and splatter in this 80-minute film. But I think it could have been a little bit even more than that. I think just a little bit better acting. Low budget's not an excuse. This guy is awful. And the other guy on the other side, the villain, he's also equally bad, hamming it up right and left. If he had a more believable guy as a lead who doesn't sound like he's just sound like he's half-assing it, or it's a guy they hired, to dub a guy who already sucked, but his dubbing is even worse than the other guy. Kind of remind me of some Italian horror films I've seen where they have some guy, they had the real actor, but he was bad, so they dubbed in some other guy, and they didn't have enough time to find somebody who was really competent, so they just found the closest guy, the guy who could do the job pretty much, the competently. That's it. Nothing spectacular, or not even that competently. I mean, it's just really, honestly, really shitty. And I can see why some people are just turned off by this movie right from the first 10-15 minutes, because it starts off really, really bad with this eyeglass thing, this Mission Impossible James Bond gadget shit that goes nowhere, and then this horrible voiceover. Me and my friend were watching it, and we're like, oh, fuck, here we go again. Oh, God, this guy's horrible. We're all laughing at this guy. He's terrible. He's like as bad as the guy from The Room. Like, he was. He was like, what? Imagine if that guy. Come on, I gotta remember that guy's name. Did I really forget that guy's name? I can't believe I forgot that guy's name. Tommy Wiseau. I don't know why it just did not pop in there. Like Tommy Wiseau from The Room. I did not hit it. I did not kill it. Nah. This is a kind of bad voiceover acting here. No, fuck you, Mastrania. No. Oh, hi. Oh, hi, Jenny. It was just really bad like that, Oh, hi, honey. I'm going to be a little bit late today. I did not do it. I did not. This is kind of that bad. Fuck you. Strandia. You fuck. Anyway, this is not very often where I'm doing a review where the people in the movie swear more than I do. So, yeah, this isn't a rant, but I am swearing like it's a rant, but it's not a rant. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of shortcomings in this movie, but I thought, overall I enjoyed it. I had a good time for what it was. I really think that it could have been better, but for what it is, a low budget done on pennies thing, it kind of made me kind of still have a little bit of hope for movies, because this movie came up with this really ingenious original idea of a point of view splatter film and delivered at least that concept. The acting was not very good, but the gore And the shots when, you know, he's fighting the zombies and he's fighting the people in the hotel and he's running away from them and everything was done well with atmosphere. It was generally creepy at points. I definitely felt like I was watching a horror film. The gore was good. There were some crowd-pleasing moments where he kicked some ass. And I just think it would have been like Michael Biehn. Like, fuck, if Michael Biehn did the voice of this guy, problem solved. I could deal with the over-the-top villain, too. If Michael Biehn was the voice of this guy. I mean, Hicks is this voice of this guy kicking some ass. Give him some better dialogue, too, other than fuck you. But still, fuck, it's Michael Biehn. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you, Mr. India. You know, he already did it for Blood Dragon. I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna kill you, you son of a bitch. You know, it's a lot better than fuck you, Mr. India, you piece of shit. Hi, honey, I'm going to be late. Late for the party, I'm sorry. I have a job to do. I love you. You know, more like, you know, just it would have been better, Michael Biehn. You know, who do you think you're fucking with? You know, that just, you know, 10 times better. I don't care how I do it, but I'm gonna get you, Mr. India. I'm gonna grab you by your balls and I'm gonna hang you like a fucking noose, you son of a bitch. I'm gonna hang you with your fucking intestines, you motherfucker. It was so much better, you know, Michael B. than the other guy. Fuck you, Mr. India. Fuck you. So, yeah. So that's Hotel Inferno. I enjoyed it for what it was. I liked the idea of it, that this rich fuck guy, he has enough money to set up a fake hotel just so he can keep this monster, you know, at bay from the general public and keep it happy by feeding it people. At the same time, also his employees are getting fed to this creature that feeds off their suffering, and they become like zombie creatures and they deteriorate and they fall apart. And then, you know, this other guy's hired in to try to basically I think the Mastrandia guy, the Mastrandia guy just hired the lead guy Zimosa to come to the hotel just to feed him to the monster, pretty much. Just another one of those people to hire to do his own thing, work for him, and then become food for this creature. And this finally is one of these employees that isn't gonna fucking go down without a fight. And, you know, this guy has a decent amount of moments. He has a chainsaw fight unseen, fucks up a guy with a chainsaw, you know, messes up you know, really uses his wits really well in this movie. And a decent amount of ingenious gore effects and really well done gore effects. Not particularly the most realistic, but still bloody and gory and get the job done and get your blood pumping. And that's what the movie does. It gets my blood pumping. I wasn't bored. Well, the first half I was bored a little bit. So I'll just say, if you see this movie, decide to see it, stick with it. The first 10 minutes or so are kind of tough sledding. 10 or 15 minutes are kind of tough sledding. Stick with it through that stupid Mission Impossible plot, and it should reward you in some way. If you're a fan of horror films, you're a fan of splatter film movies, if you're a fan of even point of view stuff type flicks, it does reward you in the end. I just think it can have better ending, better actor Michael Biehn, like I said, Michael fucking Biehn as the voice, you know, the lead guy. It's so much better. I don't know about the villain. Anybody has any suggestions, let me know. Lance Henriksen? Fuck, there we go. Voice of Lance Henriksen is the bad guy, as Mr. India, and Michael Biehn as Zimosa, or change up the names or something. Would have been 10 times better than what they had. And I wouldn't be surprised if Michael Biehn would do it. If you look at the script, this is badass. And this is like, hey, I'll do it. How much you paying me? Okay, fine. But he probably wouldn't. I don't know what he would do, but I'm just saying it's like in a dream world, I'd have Michael Biehn as the voice of the hitman, and I would have Lance Henriksen as the voice of the evil bad guy, talking over the loudspeaker. You fucking, that sort of thing, dumbass. You think you're not very smart, are you? I can't really do. I can do them all right, Lance Henriksen, but it's like when I'm not trying. It's like another one of those impressions I can do when I'm not trying to do it. I can do it, but right now I'm trying to do it and I can't. But anyway, I really know what to say. I thought this was gonna be a short review. It looks like it's gonna be a 30-minute one, but that's pretty short compared to other stuff that I've done. But anyway, I really don't know what to say about Hotel Inferno. It's rated on 5 stars. I'm gonna give it 3.5 out of 5. I think it's a above average flick because of the way, because of its premise. It's original. It's different. It does exceed on that. It does succeed on that front. It does deliver a lot of excitement and thrills and ingenious moments and some genuinely suspenseful scenes with the point of view look. And but the acting holds it back a little bit. But I'm willing to give it a little bit of a pass for that because it's the penny budget, so they got whoever they could get. But the score is great. That really helps the film a lot too. The atmosphere is well done. The gore is great for what it is, for the budget, and the point of view stuff just put it over the top. And definitely above average flick. But it could have been an excellent movie, a great film. It had better acting, better lead, and a better ending. If you had that, and take out the opening because I think the opening is completely fucking useless with the magic glasses or whatever. And it could have been really something really great. But for what it is, it's above average. It's not great, but it's above average, and that's pretty good for a no budget made for pennies horror flick. So I do recommend it. I do recommend any diehard horror fan or any fan of splatter films or gore movies to at least give this at least one look, because I think it's worth that, if you can find it. But anyway, thanks for watching my review of Hotel Inferno, and I will see you guys later. See ya.